Forefront Field in Avon, Ohio. It's high school baseball on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network as the St. Edward Eagles host the Saint Ignatius Wildcats. Hi again, everybody. I'm Adam Mendoza. Glad to have you along here on Resin as we've got high school baseball. And boy, what a matchup to start up with St. Ed's and St. Ignatius. The Eagles coming in at 7-1, have won 7 games in a row after losing to St. Xavier at the very beginning of the year. Now for St. Ignatius, they're coming off a win against Brunswick. They're 2-6, but don't let that record fool you. They played some tough teams while they were down in Florida. Now it's time to take a look at our impact players of the game for today. And for St. Ed's, you got to look at Langston Lucas. He's hitting .577 this year, 13 RBIs and 5 triples. He's been a mainstay on this varsity team since his freshman year as a starter. So for Coach Clark, he is a big key for the Eagles. On the other side of the ledger, as we look at St. Ignatius, it is Anthony Jackson. Jackson hitting .364 with a .483 on base percentage, and then also has 3 extra base hits on the year. This is going to be a really great matchup between these two schools, rivals of the West Side, playing here in Avon. We're going to take this time out on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.
When your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your first patient. Until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else. All to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
At Joyce Buick GMC, serving the community for nearly 60 years means offering the best service and deals in town.
Check out our great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles.
We are receiving truckloads of new vehicles and fresh trade-ins daily.
Visit us today for our lowest prices and great selection.
And that's why people say, drive Joyce. Your friends and neighbors do.
Joyce Buick GMC. Visit us on Chester Road in Avon or online at drivejoyce.com.
And welcome back to Avon, Ohio, as we get ready for this matchup between St. Ed's and St. Ignatius. Time to take a look at our tale of the tape for today's game. There you see the record 7-1 and 2-6. But don't let that 2-6 fool you. They played some tough competition, the Wildcats. They have been struggling hitting .207, while the Eagles at a modest .333. And there you see the running, the RBIs, the Eagles with 60 and 26 for the Wildcats. And then you look at the ERA for the pitchers, 4.49 combined for St. Ed's, 5.57 for St. Ignatius. Now our keys for today's game. And for the Wildcats, they got to get the bats hot. They're hitting .207. They have struggled at the start of the season. Hopefully with the weather getting warmer, so will the bats get a little hotter. And for the Eagles, play fundamental baseball in all aspects, fielding, throwing, hitting. That's going to be the big key for them today. Coming up next, we're going to have more as we get set. We'll have the starting lineups and the first pitch on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.
It doesn't cost a thing to change a young man's life forever, and you can do it in just seconds. By contributing to the Eagle Ohio Tax Credit Fund, you decide where your tax dollars go. Support St. Edward scholarships and get a dollar-for-dollar tax credit, up to $750 for single filers and $1,500 if you file jointly. Make your contribution before you file your taxes and no later than April 15th. Simply visit sehssgo.org.
This summer, there's a camp for everyone at St. Edward High School. With over 50 youth camps and programs, you can do what you love or try something totally new. From sports camps like baseball, basketball, and football, to tech and coding camps, to our brand new esports camps, there's a place for you at St. Edward this summer. And don't forget, Get the Edge, our signature enrichment program designed to keep students learning, creating, and having fun all summer long. With options for all ages and interests, every camper can find their perfect fit. Registration is open now, so don't miss your chance to have a blast this summer.
And welcome back as we get set for this matchup. As there you see Brandon Florjancic, 3-0 on the year with a .89 ERA. and he has 22 strikeouts with a 127 opponent batting average as we get set. And the first batter for the Wildcats will be Ryan Whelan, the right fielder. Florjancic rocks and delivers, gets that one in there for a strike. Whelan on the year, struggling at 111. That one just missing. Count goes to 1-1. Eagles come into this game with a 7-1 mark. That one on the outside part of the plate in there for a strike. Count goes to 1-2 early on here on Whelan, the right fielder. Florjancic out of the stretch. Now he backs it off as they run the pitch play once again. Jack Laux behind the plate asking for another time for the pitch, and here it is. It's delivered. Breaking ball just missing. Count evens up at 2-2. Wind is blowing in here at Forefront Field. And Whelan's going to get on base as he gets hit. Not the way you want to start. Jackson Anthony will be the number 2 hitter. He comes in hitting .364. So runner at first base is Whelan on the hit by pitch. Not the start that Coach Jim Clark would have liked to have right now. Eagles coming in 7-1 as Whelan is running it out a little bit over at first base, trying to work the leg that he got hit on. Saint Ignatius came into this game opening the season 1-1 before going 0-5 on that spring trip where they face a number of great teams, including IMG, as that first pitch is in there for a strike. Jackson, .364 as that throw goes back. Whelan getting back in time. Jackson Anthony, the center fielder, deep in the box. The delivery, missing up high. This one is lifted. First base side. Langston Lucas is calling for it, fighting the wind, and he makes the catch at the edge of the grass. That is the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Braden Colleran. Colleran, one of the top hitters on the team, is hitting .421 on the year. Quick throw back to first, not in time. Colleran, the catcher. 6 RBI on the season. That one's fouled back into the net. Oh, 1 count on Colleran as Florjancic delivers. Runner goes. This one is popped up third base side. Luca Reyes camping underneath it to make the catch. 2 outs in the inning. Oh, pop-up is a pitcher's best friend, and that really helped St. Ed's defensively as the runner was going. So we'll have to see if Whelan is going to go again. 2 outs here in the top half of the first. And another pop fly. Lucas, lot of ground going towards the dugout, and right on top of the dugout and out of play. Oh, 1 count on Jacob Merhib. Merhib hitting .158 on the year. Another throwback, not in time. Runner goes. Throw down, not in time as Whelan gets the stolen base. Whelan picking up his second stolen base of the season. So the Wildcats with a runner at second base as Florjancic steps off, and now Jack Laux will come up to the pitcher's mound to have a quick conversation as they try to set up their signals. The infield, Luca Reyes at third, Grant Lashutka at short, Ryan Shepard at second, Langston Lucas at first. We'll get the outfield in just a moment. This one is hit into the gap in right center field, and it is tracked down by Logan Falp for the third out of the inning. After one half of play, no score. St. Ed's coming up to bat on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.
When your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your first patient. Until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else. All to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
At Joyce Buick GMC, serving the community for nearly 60 years means offering the best service and deals in town.
Check out our great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles.
We are receiving truckloads of new vehicles and fresh trade-ins daily.
Visit us today for our lowest prices and great selection.
And that's why people say, drive Joyce. Your friends and neighbors do.
Joyce Buick GMC. Visit us on Chester Road in Avon or online at drivejoyce.com.
And welcome back to Forefront Field in Avon as we head to the bottom of the first inning. And St. Ed's will send to the plate Luca Reyes as we look at Sam Laparo. He is 0-1 on the year with a 6.56 ERA for the Wildcats. He's struck out 5 and he's given up 5 earned runs. The Eagles' first 3 hitters will be Reyes, Lashutka, and Lucas. There's the lineup for St. Ed's. Reyes hitting first at third. Lashutka, Langston, Lucas, the top 3. Brandon Florjancic hitting fourth. Will Addington, Cam Fuhrer is the DH, followed by Leo D'Angelo, Jack Laux, and Logan Falp.
No, you're good. Luca's number is different on the roster than it is on his jersey.
So Luca Reyes
is number 34.
Comes up to the plate.
Third baseman, number 7, Luca Reyes.
He's number 34. They changed his number. Take 4.
Luca Reyes, the left-handed third baseman, comes up hitting .320 on the year. Laparo's first pitch, inside missing. Good crowd. Good crowd on hand here. That one missing up high. Infield for Saint Ignatius playing pretty much straight away. That one on the outside part of the plate goes for a strike. Count goes to 2-1. Reyes on the year has a .440 slugging percentage. Has 3 doubles on the year. Holds back. They'll check first base umpire and they'll say he did not go. So the count goes to 3-1 as we look at it. Oh, that was close, but he held off. 3-1 count to Reyes. He'll take the walk. So the Eagles get on base with a walk. And for St. Ed's, that's their 53rd walk of the year. That'll bring up the shortstop, Grant Lashutka. Lashutka hitting .348 on the year. Double, a triple, 8 RBI. Has a good eye at the plate, has only struck out looking twice this year. Good lead there by Reyes over at first base. Laparo with the good move, throwing it back to Jacob Merhab. Reyes with a good lead there, you see, at first base. Laparo throws back again, and Reyes gets back in time. Wind has been blowing in most of the afternoon, swirling in between center field to left field, blowing in. Another time, and that one was real close. Laparo. Reyes on the year has 3 stolen bases. This one is hit right field. Whelan camps underneath it, shades the sun out of his eyes, and makes the catch for the first out. 1 out in the inning, and that brings up Langston Lucas. Langston Lucas is off to a hot start. He's hitting .577 on the year with 5 triples, 13 RBI. Now, Langston has been the starter at first base since his freshman year here at St. Ed's. Last year, also in the fall, quarterback for the Eagles. This one hit down the line, foul. Timeout will be called as Colleran and Laparo having a little bit of a conversation. Laparo had about 4 throwbacks over to first base early on. 0-1 count, 1 out in the inning. Reyes still at first with a decent lead there. On a sun-drenched Wednesday afternoon, that one again not in time. Or they are really worried about Reyes to see if he's going to go or not. Laparo out of the stretch. Big cut there by Lucas. Count goes to 0-2. Langston Lucas is hitting .677 in his last 3 games. Correction, 700. Runner goes. There's the throw in the dirt, and he is dead to rights. Great throw by Colleran to get the runner. Reyes had a good start, but just a good throw and way ahead of the tag. Colleran. That's the second runner he has thrown out this year. Now the count on Langston Lucas goes to 2-2. On deck is Brandon Florjancic, the pitcher, in the number 4 hole. Nobody on for the Eagles. Ground ball foul down the first base side. Lots of room here at Forefront Field. The dimensions of the ballpark, 325 down the lines, 375 in the alleys, 400 straight away. This one is popped up, and it goes foul into the bullpen area on the third base side. Count remains at 2-2 with 2 outs here in the inning. The Eagles had the first hitter get on base, but then was thrown out over at second base. Laparo's throw inside, just missing. Well, Lucas has run the count to 3-2, forcing Lepar to throw a lot of pitches. That one he did go, and that is it for the top half, or the bottom half of the first inning. 3 up, 3 down. We'll head to the second. No score here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Well, as we get ready for the top half of the second inning, some of the St. Ed students basking in the sun here at Forefront Field in Avon, Ohio, as St. Ed's and Saint Ignatius scoreless after 1. Taking a look at the tail of the tape between these two squads, and there you see the record 7-1 for the Eagles, 2-6 for St. Ignatius. You see the 207, that's where the Wildcats are having their struggles hitting the ball, and the Eagles hitting 333. As you look at the RBI, 60 for St. Ed's to 26. And pitchers for St. Ed's, 66 combined strikeouts with a 4.49 ERA. So it'll be the designated hitter, Finn Barman, coming up for the Wildcats of St. Ignatius. Leading hitter at 667 on the year. The left-hander at the plate, Florjancic, nicknamed B-Flow, coming up high, missing on that one. Florjancic under 1 ERA as the crowd continues to file in here as that pitch right there in for a strike. The outfield, as we set up the outfield for the Eagles, Leo D'Angelo in left, Logan Fopp in center, and Will Addington in right. That one into the dirt, gets away from Laux. Infield normal depth as Florjancic rocks and fires. That one just missing up top. There you see Barman, the left-handed DH. Ground ball, second base. It'll be snagged by Shepard. Throws it over to Lucas for the first out. If you're scoring at home, that is 4-3 on the putout. That'll bring up A.J. Peluso. Peluso hitting .83 on the year, with just 2 hits on the year and a big cut there from the right-hander. Florjancic with an 0-1 count, breaking ball. That one pounded in, foul ball. Florjancic with an 0-2 count, 1 out here. That one missing high. Florjancic has signed a letter of intent to go to Tiffin. That one in the ground. Swing, throw out, 2-3. Okay, 2-3 on the out for the second out of the inning. When you look at St. Ed's and their college commits on the baseball field, Grant Lashuntka has committed to Wright State, Jack Laux to Wabash Valley College, Robbie Anderson, who's out injured at Findlay, Florjancic at Tiffin, and Cam Fuhrer at Moorhead State. That'll bring up Marcus Takancic, the shortstop. That one missing up high. Takancic on the year hitting .59. Again, the Wildcats as a team, they have struggled hitting .207 as that pitch low on the outside part of the plate for a strike counts, runs even at 1-1. Just an absolute gorgeous day, 72 degrees. The wind's out of the north-northeast at 10 miles an hour. This one is pop foul. Langston Lucas underneath it in foul ground, and he makes the catch for the third out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the bottom of the second. No score on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.
When your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your first patient. Until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else. All to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
At Joyce Buick GMC, serving the community for nearly 60 years means offering the best service and deals in town.
Check out our great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles.
We are receiving truckloads of new vehicles and fresh trade-ins daily.
Visit us today for our lowest prices and great selection.
And that's why people say, drive Joyce. Your friends and neighbors do.
Joyce Buick GMC. Visit us on Chester Road in Avon or online at drivejoyce.com.
And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the second inning. For the Eagles, it'll be Florjancic, Addington, and Fuhrer, the 4, 5, 6 hitters for St. Ed's. Florjancic, pitcher in this game, is hitting .471 on the year, and in his last 3 games is hitting .333. He went 1 for 3 in the win over Benedictine. Is that one missing? St. Ed's looking to snap a 6-game losing streak to the Wildcats. That one in there for a strike. St. Ed's in their last outing last week defeated Benedictine at Case Western Reserve by a score of 8-1. Low in count runs to 2-1. The Eagles went 5-0 on their Florida trip. Or I should say their trip to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I was in Florida at the time. Laparo winds and fires. That one pounded. Great stab over there at the third base coaching box by Tim Clark. Florjancic has a count even at 2-2. Florjancic with an .824 slugging percentage. Laparo out of the windup. Delivers. That one to the first baseman, picked up by Merhab for the first out of the inning. That one was tailing away, but Merhab made the nice play over at first base. Will Addington, the right fielder, will come in to hit. Addington on the year hitting .333. Pretty much even at the plate, as you see right there. Sam Laparo from the windup once again with 1 out. The bunt faked. Gets away from Colleran, and that really forced the defense for the Wildcats to maneuver. So now the third baseman, A.J. Peluso, is playing about even with the bag. 1-0 count with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. That one missing on the outside part of the plate. Count goes to 2-0. Addington on the last 3 games hitting .250. That one right in there over the plate for a strike. Count goes to 2-1. Wind appears to be dying down just a bit, blowing in from center field. The outfield for St. Ignatius shaded towards left field as a big cut there by Addington. Count goes even at 2-2. On deck for St. Ed's will be the designated hitter, Cam Fuhrer. Laparo from the windup. Bouncer takes it over to Hirsch. Hirsch throws him out at first. 4-3 on the out for the second out. And that'll bring up Cam Fuhrer, another hitter for St. Ed's that's hitting .333 with a .391 on base percentage. Cam, the DH, has played a number of innings behind the plate, as Laux getting the catching duties today. Fuhrer coming in and hitting for the second baseman for St. Ed's, Ryan Shepard. Fuhrer deep in the box. Laparo out of the windup. That one missing inside. Fuhrer, when he first came here to St. Ed's, played hockey as well as baseball. Then decided to concentrate more on baseball, as this one is lined in the right field for the first base hit of the inning as Fuhrer connects going opposite field. Eagles get their second runner on the base, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Leo D'Angelo, as he had a good cut right there, just went with the outside pitch. Leo D'Angelo, hockey player for Coach Tim Sullivan. Here the left fielder. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Fuhrer is not going to be much of a threat. He's only stolen one base this year. Decent lead over at first, but Laparo steps off. This one, foul ground, first base side, and will run out of space as it hits the top of the dugout. As we said, the Eagles are 5-17 against the Wildcats, and they've lost 10 in a row. The last time St. Ed's won against the Wildcats, you have to go back to the 2015 and then the 2014 season, where they won 2 games in a row. D'Angelo sits in with an 0-2 count, 2 outs here. Breaking ball, line shot, base hit in the left field. Second base hit of the inning. That'll advance Fuhrer to second base, and that will bring up the catcher, Jack Laux. Good hit there by D'Angelo for the hit. Jack Laux, the catcher, on the year, hitting .125 in 5 games played. Just 20 plate appearances. That one in there for a strike. So the Eagles with runners at first and second. Fuhrer at second, D'Angelo at first. Eagles hope to get that runner in scoring position. Laparo throws. Big cut there by Laux for the strike. Boy, the right fielder for St. Ignatius is playing deep, but left and center for the Wildcats playing pretty shallow. Laparo out of the stretch. High, good snag there by Braden Colleran. Third base shortstop playing deep there. Laparo with a 1-2 count. Fuhrer at second. That pitch missing up high. Logan Falp on deck for the Eagles. As we said, a great crowd here at Forefront Field. Everybody enjoying the sun. 2-2 pitch. Oh, that breaking ball just missed as Laux held up on that. Not sure if we can see how that outfield is playing. They're playing shallow between center and left. There you see them playing pretty shallow. Right field playing very deep. This one lifted foul behind home plate. Right field playing deep for the oppo hit, but left and center playing shallow, and the third baseman playing at the edge of the grass deep in the hole. Count is 3-2 on Jack Laux. Runners at first and second here in the bottom of the second inning. Big cut with a strikeout. That'll end the inning. The Eagles strand 2. Still no score as we head towards the top of the third on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. We head towards the top of the third as you see some of the folks here. Some basking in the sun, others opting to go in the shade. I myself would rather be in the sun and feel the warmth here as it is 72 degrees here in Avon. But a great day for this matchup between St. Ed's and Saint Ignatius. Bottom of the lineup for the Wildcats, it'll be Hirsch, McKee, then back to the top of the lineup with Ryan Whelan. Hirsch, the second baseman, hitting 200 on the year. As we said, the Wildcats have struggled early on in the year, hitting just 207 as a team, as that first pitch from Florjancic is in there for a strike. Florjancic rocks on his 26th pitch of the game, in there for a strike. Florjancic, the senior, committing to Tiffin University. That one just missing on the fastball. Good location there and a good setup by Laux behind the plate. That one fouled into the net behind home plate. Count remains at 1-2. St. Ignatius snapped the losing streak with a 14-0 win over Brunswick over the weekend. That one missing outside. Count runs even at 2-2. Last year, St. Ignatius 20-9 on the year, but they lost to Glen Oak in the district final. Ground ball right back to Florjancic. He'll get it over easily for the putout. 1-3 if you're scoring at home, and that'll bring up Matt McKee, the left fielder. Here's Florjancic, and a good comeback right there. Matt McKee, the left fielder. McKee hitting .267 for the Wildcats. Florjancic missing on that one. Florjancic on the year, under 1 on the ERA. That's going to be a bunt, and that is a perfect bunt there by Matt McKee as he gets on base. Hitter's best friend is the bunt, and he squared up, and really a good play there and a good bunt in no man's land. So that'll get the second base runner for the Wildcats in the game, and they'll go to the top of the lineup with Ryan Whalen, who was hit by a pitch back in the first inning. He'll square around, and he fouls that one out. So we've seen the Wildcats squaring up, and looking at third base, Luca Reyes playing right at the edge of the grass. There you see the defensive lineup and the setup as Reyes playing in at third base. Shortstop, Lashutka, medium at short. McKee at first, pitching up high. Sometimes when a team starts throwing out the bunts or looks at bunts, that kind of rattles the pitcher at times. Runner goes. Throw down to second base to the right, goes in the outfield, but the backup there as McKee gets the stolen base. So the Wildcats with a runner in scoring position at second base. That's the second time. And Whalen now facing a 2-1 count. Florjancic. This one is pop fouled. Third base side into the stands. Count runs even at 2-2. Well, when the game started, the wind was blowing straight in from center field. Now it is blowing in towards left field. 2-2 count on Whalen. Was hit by a pitch back in the first inning. That one missing outside. 37th pitch there for Florjancic. Florjancic with a runner at second, looks him back. Missing high. And the Wildcats with runners at first and second as Whalen gets on base for the second time. Play at third as McKee very slow to get up. And the trainer
Michael, can you get me the map? Play your open.
So McKee, here's the replay on the play. They threw it up high, and he just ran into the leg of Luca Reyes on the slide. As they thought they were going to get him, but the ball was thrown over the head of Luca Reyes. Luckily, they're going to call interference on the Eagles and Reyes. And Coach Clark wants to get an explanation as they're going to say that McKee is going to score on the interference. And Coach Clark wants an explanation on the play. They gave him the base saying that the ball got away from him, from Reyes, and that he probably would have gotten it but then got injured. Jackson Anthony will come up as Whalen is at second base. Top of the third inning, and the Wildcats get on the board. Florjancic throws his 40th pitch. That gets away, and that'll send Whalen over to third base on the wild pitch. Florjancic started off hot, but had some control problems here in inning number 3 as the Wildcats get on the board. Eagles getting one error so far. So the line score for St. Ed's is no runs, 2 hits, 1 error. For St. Ignatius, 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. That one in there on the breaking ball for the outside part of the plate. Goes for a strike. Count goes to 1-2. Jackson Anthony popped up to first base his first time out. 364 hitter for the Wildcats deep in the box. Missing high again. Florjancic needing to look for that control that he had in the first 2 innings. Ground ball right back to him. Looks the runner back. Runs him. Now they've got him in a pickle at third base. They get him out. He was out of the baseline. No run, no score. And Anthony will head over to second base on the fielder's choice. Eagles did a good play, good teamwork on the rundown. 2 outs here in the bottom or the top of the third inning. That'll bring up the 5th hitter of the inning, Braden Colleran, the catcher. He popped up to the third baseman, and he rips a base hit in the right field. Runner's going to score as the Wildcats will take a 2-0 lead. Anthony will score, and the RBI single. And really good stroke there by Colleran for the hit and the RBI. Colleran picking up his 7th RBI of the season, and the Wildcats go up 2-0 here in the top of the third. That one in there for a strike on Jacob Merhab, the first baseman. Oh, that rundown really helped the Eagles getting that out. Could have been a 3-0 lead. That pitch, breaking ball outside and low. Count goes 1-1. 2 outs here, top of the third inning. Wildcats putting 2 on the board here. Quick throw back to first base. Colleran 0 for 1 on the day. Breaking ball in there over the plate for a strike. Count goes to 1-2. 2 hits and an error. 2 hits for the Wildcats this inning. 1 error for the Eagles. They take a 2-0 lead with 2 outs here. Another pop-up behind the plate. That's going to go out of play into the seats. Almost went into our high home camera. Count goes to 1-2 with 2 outs here. Oh, good breaking ball for the strikeout. That'll end the inning, but the damage is done. 2 runs on 2 hits. 1 left on base. St. Ignatius leads it 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the third on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.
When your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your first patient. Until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else. All to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
At Joyce Buick GMC, serving the community for nearly 60 years means offering the best service and deals in town.
Check out our great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles.
We are receiving truckloads of new vehicles and fresh trade-ins daily.
Visit us today for our lowest prices and great selection.
And that's why people say, drive Joyce. Your friends and neighbors do.
Joyce Buick GMC. Visit us on Chester Road in Avon or online at drivejoyce.com.
There you see Ben Olak warming up and getting it stretched out in the Saint Ignatius bullpen. Right-handed senior pitcher has been going through his throwing routine. Laparo so far has just given up 2 hits in the ball game. It'll be 9-1-2 for St. Ed's in the bottom of the 3rd inning, as the Wildcats put up 2 in the top half of the 3rd. It'll be Logan Falp, Luca Reyes, and Grant Lashutka for the Eagles here in inning number 3. The Eagles are coached by Jim Clark in his 5th year with a 57-34 record. Falp on the year hitting .292. Sam Laparo working now with a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. That one just missing on the outside part of the plate. Falp hitting .444 in his last 3 games, and that one getting in there for a strike. Looked low. Ground ball picked up by the shortstop Takancic, throws him out. 6-3 on the putout for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the 3rd baseman Luca Reyes, who walked and was caught stealing back in the 1st inning. Reyes, the left-handed hitting 3rd baseman, came into this game hitting .320 on the year, with a .440 slugging percentage, as that one in there again for a strike. That's the 2nd time that the umpire has called that low breaking ball in there for a strike. And Laparo is going to take all the advantages of that call. Again, another breaking ball on the outside part of the plate, and Luca Reyes is down in the count, 0-2. Wind really starting to pick up and blowing in from center field towards 3rd base side. Big strike out there on the outside part of the plate as Reyes goes down for the 2nd out of the inning. And that'll bring up Grant Lashutka, who popped up to the right fielder back in the 1st inning. Lashutka came into this game hitting .348. Laparo will throw his 44th pitch of the game, and that one is in there for a strike. Where Florjancic struggled in the 3rd, Laparo is finding his groove with a 2-run lead. That pitch missing up high. St. Ignatius with 17 players returning to the squad this year. Fastball missing on the outside part of the plate. Count goes to 2-1 on Lashutka. Lashutka, the right state commit. Deep in the box on that right side. In there, breaking ball. Count goes even at 2-2. Laparo with a 2-2 count here in the bottom of the 3rd with 2 outs. Payoff pitch got him swinging. 3 up, 3 down. St. Ignatius still leads it 2-0 as we head to the top of the 4th on Rock Sports. Top of the fourth inning. Lots of folks making their way over to the grill to get something to eat on this Wednesday afternoon, as the concession stand doing very, very well here at Forefront Field. Saint Ignatius leading it 2-0 in the top of the second inning as Finn Barman, A.J. Paluzzo, and Marcus DeKancic. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 coming up. The last time 5, 6, and 7 went down in order. Bauman, the designated hitter, grounded out to the second baseman his last time up. Florjancic's first pitch in there for a strike. He's hoping to make up for that tough inning back in the third where the Wildcats had 2 runs on 2 hits and an error, as that one in there for a strike, and the count goes to 0-2. Warming up,
Number 6, Herman.
Jack Herman warming up in the Eagles bullpen. High strikeout on there as Barman goes down swinging. That is the third strikeout for Florjancic in the ball game. A.J. Paluzzo will come up to the plate. He is 0 for 1. He struck out with a 2-3 on the play his last time up. Base hit down the third base line. That's going to be extra bases as Paluzzo rounds first. He's going to head to second. Now he'll hold him up as that one went into the corner. Paluzzo, when he saw that ball go in, he was looking for third all the way, but then had to hold up. So Paluzzo picking up the double. Paluzzo, his first double of the year. That is the third base hit for the Wildcats. And that brings up Marcus DeKancic, the shortstop. He's 0 for 1 on the day, as the Wildcats once again threatening with a runner at second. Florjancic throws that one in there for a strike. Florjancic in his last outing went 6 innings against Benedictine. That one in there for a strike on the outside part of the plate. He had 11 strikeouts in that game. Runner at second base for the Wildcats with 1 out here, top of the fourth. That one fouled back into the net. Count remains at 0-2. Wind now blowing directly in from center field. That one, weak grounder, second base, picked up. Boy, got him out at first. Shepard bobbled the ball a bit and then threw it short, but they did get the out. The runner does advance.
Second baseman, number 26, Max Hirsch.
Max Hirsch will come up to the plate with 2 outs in the inning. Paluzzo now at third base as that pitch missing up high. Paluzzo's getting a pretty decent lead after the release by Florjancic. That's another base hit. That'll score another run into the opposite field as the Wildcats now take a 3-0 lead. Hirsch right there, just right on top of the ball, getting the base hit. Well, there'll be a meeting on the mound for the Eagles. As Florjancic giving up 4 hits and 3 runs. Jack Herman still warming up in the bullpen. As you see the student section there from St. Ed's on attendance here at Forefront Field. Jack Herman warming up with Cam Fuhrer. They'll leave Florjancic in, but the Wildcats with a 3-0 lead and a runner on first base. McKee singled and scored back in the third inning. Fouls that one back into the net. Two hits here in the top of the fourth. Throw back to first, not in time. So the Wildcats started off with 2 runs here in the third inning. Then they picked up another run in the fourth to have a 3-0 lead. Breaking ball missing. Florjancic started the game out really, really strong. Then some control problems, but then the Wildcats, after getting another look at him, started hitting the ball a bit. Runner goes. No way on that one as Hirsch left so early. He got a great jump on Florjancic. I mean, there you see the pitch, and he was already 3/4 down the way to second base before that ball was delivered. Another runner in scoring position as the Wildcats. That pitch going in there for a strike. Count goes to 2-2. Wildcats put up 14 against Brunswick the other day. They put up 3 today. Big, big cut for the outs. Damage is done. 1 run, 2 hits. Saint Ignatius leads it 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the fourth on Rock Sports.
When your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your first patient. Until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else. All to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
At Joyce Buick GMC, serving the community for nearly 60 years means offering the best service and deals in town.
Check out our great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles.
We are receiving truckloads of new vehicles and fresh trade-ins daily.
Visit us today for our lowest prices and great selection.
And that's why people say, drive Joyce. Your friends and neighbors do.
Joyce Buick GMC. Visit us on Chester Road in Avon or online at drivejoyce.com.
St. Ed's up to the plate at the bottom of the fourth. St. Ignatius leading at 3-0, and some of the lacrosse players from St. Ed's making their way to Avon, and well, that's pretty obvious when you see the lacrosse helmets there. As the student section coming out to root on the Eagles as they are down 3-0 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Langston Lucas will come up. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 for St. Ed's. Lucas, Florjancic, and Addington. The Wildcats put 2 up on the board in the third and added another one in the fourth. Eagles looking to get one across here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Lucas struck out his first time out. Laparo delivers. That one missing low. St. Ed's with just 2 hits in the ball game, those coming in the second inning. Laparo delivers. That one low and outside, going in there for a strike. That's been a consistent call for the umpire behind the plate. Lucas tied in on the box in that batter's box on the left-hand side. Rips one foul into the St. Ignatius bullpen area. Boy, he got a head on that one. Count goes to 1-2. Will Leparo work that curveball on the outside part of the plate? He does, and he gets the backward K. Fifth strikeout for Leparo here in the ball game. Well, that brings up the number 4 hitter, Brandon Florjancic, the pitcher. He grounded out back to third base in the first. He grounded out to first base back in the second inning. Florjancic looking to help his cause as he takes that first pitch for a strike, 0-1. That one lifted foul and out of play here at Forefront Field into the parking lot. May have a good bounce and could hit I-90. Wind now blowing straight in from center field. Florjancic holds up on the breaking ball that went high. Count is at 1-2. Eagles have not had a runner on base since the second inning. Leparo delivers. That one banged foul behind the plate. Florjancic, the senior, heading to Tiffin, trying to help his cause here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Leparo doing a really good job. This one pounded over to third base, picked up by Paluzzo easily as he throws it across the diamond for the second out of the inning. 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the fourth. That'll bring up the right fielder, Will Addington, who grounded out to second base back in the second inning. As we said, the Eagles have not had a runner on base since the second inning. That pitch missing inside. There is work going on in the Saint Ignatius bullpen. Leparo will throw pitch number 58. Breaking ball in there. No. Boy, that one, a lot of the folks were hoping that one was going to be called a strike, but the umpire said not that time. Addington. That one foul, just foul down the first base line. Just missing by just a little bit. Addington looks at that one missing from Leparo. Count goes to 3-1. Eagles looking to get a runner on base for the first time since the second inning. Wildcats lead it 3-0 here. They put up 4 hits in the ball game. That'll be a walk. First Eagle to get on base since the second inning, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Cam Fuhrer. Fuhrer is 1 for 1 on the day. Leparo looks over to first. 2 outs here. That one hit out of play behind home plate and out of Forefront Field. Fuhrer with an 0-1 count. Base hit in the left field. That'll advance the runner as Fuhrer picks up his second hit of the day. That gives the Eagles runners at first and second. That'll bring up Leo D'Angelo now. D'Angelo also singled back in the second inning. Just the third hit by the Eagles in the game. With a runner in scoring position, D'Angelo takes that one for a strike. Boy, the Eagles really could use a run here in the bottom of the fourth with a runner at second base and first base. That one there on the outside part of the plate for a strike. Count goes to 0-2 with 2 outs. Laparo has runners at first and second out of the stretch. Looks back the runner at second. Now he delivers. That one fouled away. Anything put up in the air is not going to go, as you can see the wind blowing straight in. Laparo has an 0-2 count on Leo D'Angelo. Eagles threatening here in the bottom of the fourth. Missing up high. Count goes to 1-2. Wind has been blowing, and there you see the flag, Old Glory, really blowing straight in here at Forefront Field. Laparo with a 1-2 count. Knocked down. Can they get the long throw? Not in time. Great try by Peluso over at third base, and the Eagles have the bases loaded. And a great play there by Takancic on the long throw, not in time. And that brings up Jack Laux, the catcher. And we're going to have a meeting on the mound as the Eagles, with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the fourth, and doing it with 2 outs. So we'll have a meeting on the mound, and we'll also have a meeting over at third base with the runners for St. Ed's and Coach Tim Clark. 69 pitches there for Laparo. So Laparo will remain out there with the bases loaded. Addington at third. Fuhrer is at second. And Leo D'Angelo is at first for Jack Laux, who struck out back in the second inning. Oh, the Eagles would love to get a big base hit with 2 outs here and the bases loaded. That one in there for a strike. Big first threat for the Eagles in this game. Oh, 0-1 count on Laux. The right-hander missing outside. Laux will be heading to Wabash Valley College. Laux, another kid that played up on the varsity since his freshman year. Logan Falp is on deck. Laparo trying to work his way out of this jam with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Right there, breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-2. Well, the Wildcat dugout on the edge of their seats over there. Laparo, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. That one just missing. Laparo, his 72nd pitch of the ball game, with the bases loaded and a 2-2 count. Foul ball, first base side into the stands and out of play. Count remains at 2-2. Well, the St. Ed student section getting up on their feet right now, trying to make some noise to get the Eagles to get their first run of this ball game. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. And they got him looking on the outside pitch. That's a huge strikeout for the Wildcats. End of 4. St. Ignatius continues to lead it 3-0 on Rock Sports. Top of the 5th inning here, and boy, that St. Ignatius bench erupted on that strikeout with the bases loaded, thwarting St. Ed's attempt at getting any runs back in the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be the top of the order. Whalen, Anthony, and Colleran for the Wildcats of St. Ignatius. Whalen got on base twice, was hit by a pitch his first time, then walked back in the 3rd inning as Florjancic continues to throw out there here in the top of the 5th.
Leading off the top of the 5th inning for Ignatius, right fielder, number 17, Ryan Whalen.
So Whalen will look to start things up here for the Wildcats in the top half of the 5th inning. Florjancic out of the windup. That one hit right up the middle for a base hit. Whalen getting on base for his 3rd time in the ball game as Herman getting ready and warming up in the bullpen again.
Number 1, Jackson Anthony.
Jackson Anthony now coming up to the plate. Got on in a fielder's choice, but scored back in the 3rd. And oh, big breaking ball. Boy, that one, something was pulled on that pitch, and that got Jackson Anthony really swinging wild on that one. Boy, that breaking pitch was really nice by Florjancic. They call him B-Flow. Anthony deep in the box. Big cut on a high fastball. 0-2 the count. Where the Eagles would love to get a double play ball here in the top of the 5th inning. Missing low and away, 1-2 the count. The Wildcats with 3 runs on 4 hits. They've left 3 on base this game. Quick throwback. Runner getting back in time. Eagles had a great scoring opportunity in the bottom of the 4th with the bases loaded, but could not punch it through. And a high fastball strikeout there for Florjancic on Anthony. That's his 5th strikeout of the game for Florjancic. That'll bring up Braden Colleran, who singled back in the 3rd inning. Count going to 0-1 here. Eagle defense playing normal depth. Wide stance there for Colleran. Pitch high and away. The outfield for the Eagles playing pretty much straight up. Florjancic stepping out. Whalen looking over to third base, getting that sign. He did steal a base back in the first inning as they throw it back to first base. If Florjancic does not get that slide step, Whalen looks like he's going to take off. That went in there for a strike, but he was leaning back that time. St. Ed's looking to snap a 10-game losing streak to the Wildcats. That goes back to 2015. Right now, the Wildcats leading it 3-0. This one's hit. Short, shallow center field. Coming in and making the sliding catch is Logan Fout. That is a big out for the Eagles as Fout had a long way to go and made the sliding catch in center field for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Jacob Merhab, the first baseman. Runner at first base. Breaking ball, taking a little something off in there for a strike by Florjancic. As the clouds now settling in here in Avon at Forefront Field. This one popped high in the infield. Lashutka will pick it up for the third out of the inning. Wildcats get a hit, but they strand one. They still lead it 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the fifth inning on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.
When your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your first patient. Until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else. All to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
At Joyce Buick GMC, serving the community for nearly 60 years means offering the best service and deals in town.
Check out our great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles.
We are receiving truckloads of new vehicles and fresh trade-ins daily.
Visit us today for our lowest prices and great selection.
And that's why people say, drive Joyce. Your friends and neighbors do.
Joyce Buick GMC. Visit us on Chester Road in Avon or online at drivejoyce.com.
Wildcats leading at 3-0 here as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning as you look at a number of lacrosse players coming right after practice here to Forefront Field in Avon, home of the Lake Erie Crushers. New pitcher for Saint Ignatius is Ben Olak. Olak with a 2.0 ERA. He's thrown 7 innings so far and has faced 27 batters this year, and opponents are hitting .222 against him. Has 4 strikeouts on the year. So Ben Olak, the right-handed senior, coming into the game. And so Laparo goes 4 innings, giving up 4 hits, no runs. 5 strikeouts. So the new pitcher, Ben Olak, the big right-hander, as he will face Logan Fout. That one low. Count goes to 1-0. When you have St. Ed's and St. Ignatius getting together, that always draws a crowd. And what a better way to spend a Wednesday night in Avon at Forefront Field. Does that count in the dirt? Count goes to 2-0. Eagles got the bases loaded back in the fourth inning, but were not able to push a run across. Hoping maybe they can do it now, but they're facing the new pitcher in Ben Olak. That one on the outside part of the plate for a strike. Last year, Saint Ignatius defeated St. Ed 7-6. That one off the glove down the third base line as Falp is going to head to second and in for the head first slide. They'll give him the base hit. But then you see him, he's looking, and then he takes the advantage of going to second base. He'll bring up the single. That'll be the fifth hit for the Eagles. And that'll bring up Luca Reyes, the number one hitter for the Eagles. Reyes walked his first time up, struck out back in the third. Eagles now with another runner in scoring position as the St. Ignatius Wildcats will bring the third baseman in. Third baseman playing in at the edge of the grass. Reyes taking that one for a strike. Olak looking at the runner at second base. This one hit up the middle. They're going to send him home. Here comes the throw at the plate, and they got him. What a strike from the center fielder, Jackson Anthony. Falp got a good start. Then he was getting called home, but look at this throw. No doubt about it. Eight-2 on the putout. Reyes getting the single. Lashutka up to the plate. Boy, the Wildcats are getting great throws out there. Look at that strike from center field. Great throw there by Jackson Anthony. Anthony, a second team honorable mention, second team preseason All-Ohio. That pitch, not in time, very close on the throwdown from Colloran. Eagles had a prime opportunity with a runner at second base. Oh, that was close right there on the sweeping tag. Lashutka 0 for 2 on the day. Ground ball back up the middle. They'll get the out at second base for the second out of the inning. Lashutka gets on the fielder's choice. Langston Lucas will come up. He's 0 for 2. He struck out twice. He had struck out looking back in the fourth inning when the bases were loaded. So Lashutka's over at first base. Lucas looking to make amends for that last inning. He's up in the box. Fouls that one. Lucas earlier on in the game was back in the box. Now he's playing pretty much even in the box, almost up in front. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth. Whoa, what a comebacker right to the pitcher. And they get him out. Wow. Olak with the reflexes. No runs for the Eagles. They're still down 3-0 as we head to the top of the 6th on Rock Sports. Top of the 6th inning, Florjancic still out on the mound as Saint Ignatius leading it 3-0 here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Adam Mendoza along with you, along with our NEO Productions crew here at Forefront Field, home of the Lake Erie Crushers. Wildcats scored 2 back in the 3rd and 1 in the 4th. The Eagles had scoring opportunities in the 4th and the 5th, but in the 5th inning, a great throw by the center fielder of St. Ignatius, Jackson Anthony, getting the gun out on the try at home plate. That pitch in there for a strike. Eagles had the bases loaded. Back in the 4th, they had a runner and scoring opportunity in the 5th, and the Wildcats have been able to shut them down. That one in the dirt for Florjancic. 77 pitches for him so far in this game. This one, foul, third base side in the stands. Count goes to 1-2. St. Ignatius, 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors. St. Ed's, no runs, 6 hits, 1 error. As that pitch just missing. Count runs even at 2-2. Center fielder Falp is shaded to left center field. Oh boy, good pitch that time by Florjancic, and the strikeout, his 6th of the ball game. That'll bring up A.J. Peluso, the third baseman. Struck out back in the 1st, doubled and scored in the 4th inning. Florjancic throwing in that one for a strike, quickly getting ahead on the count. Peluso got the lone run in the 4th inning for the Wildcats after getting that double. Peluso, the right-handed hitting third baseman, takes that one for a ball on the outside part of the plate. Count goes to 2-1. Well, it was a Moem 1st and 2nd inning for Florjancic, then ran into troubles in the 3rd as that pitch missing in high and tight. Count goes to 3-1. Florjancic delivers. Missing for a ball. That gives the walk to Peluso, and that brings up Marcus DeCancic, who's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Jack Herman still working in the bullpen for the Wildcat or for the Eagles, and I think that might be it for Brandon Florjancic. Florjancic will come out of the ball game here in the top half of the 6th with a runner at first base to his credit, as Florjancic giving up 3 runs on 5 hits here, and will take this time out on Rock Sports.
It doesn't cost a thing to change a young man's life forever, and you can do it in just seconds. By contributing to the Eagle, Ohio Tax Credit Fund, you decide where your tax dollars go. Support St. Edward scholarships and get a dollar-for-dollar tax credit, up to $750 for single filers and $1,500 if you file jointly. Make your contribution before you file your taxes and no later than April 15th. Simply visit sehssgo.org.
So far as Jack Herman, the senior, will be in there to pitch. He's got a 3.93 ERA in 5.3 innings. He has given up 3 runs, all of them earned, with 3 strikeouts on the year, and has not given up a walk so far. Herman is a hard-working right-handed pitcher. I remember him when I coached him freshman year. We were short on players in a ball game. We only had 10, and I had him throw that day against Mayfield Heights, and he gave me a solid 7 innings and a gutty performance, throwing over 90 pitches in that game and a win for the St. Edward freshman team back a few years ago. Big, hard-throwing right-hander in there for Coach Clark now in the top of the 6th inning with a runner at first base. The Wildcats got a run in the third, added another run in the 4th. Eagles had scoring opportunities in the 4th and 5th inning, but were shut down. Marcus DeCancic, 0 for 2. The shortstop comes up with a runner at first. DeCancic came into this game hitting 0.59. But the Wildcats getting 5 hits in the ball game today. DeCancic 0 for 2. That one just missing. 1 out here in the top half of the 6th inning. One and 0 count over to DeCancic, the shortstop. Runner at first. Big swing and a miss. Count goes even at 1-1. Well, for the most part, the clouds have been rolling in here in Avon. Started off with a great sunny day. Now overcast here in the top half of the 6th inning at Forefront Field. Breaking ball in there for a strike on the outside part of the plate. DeCancic not too thrilled with that one. Now he's down in the count at 1-2. Herman delivers in the dirt. Great pickup. The throw. And they got him at second on the back sweep there by the second baseman, Ryan Shepard. You see the run. He stumbled a bit, but then Shepard was ahead of the base and then was able to make the sweeping tag for the second out of the inning. Great throw by Laux. Ground ball picked up by Reyes over at third. Throws across the diamond for the third out of the inning. We head to the bottom of the 6th with the Eagles up to bat, down 3-0 on Rock Sports.
When your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your first patient. Until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else. All to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
At Joyce Buick GMC, serving the community for nearly 60 years means offering the best service and deals in town.
Check out our great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles.
We are receiving truckloads of new vehicles and fresh trade-ins daily.
Visit us today for our lowest prices and great selection.
And that's why people say, drive Joyce. Your friends and neighbors do.
Joyce Buick GMC. Visit us on Chester Road in Avon or online at drivejoyce.com.
Well, traffic a bit light on I-90 here in Avon, as most of the folks having an easy time if they're heading to Lorain County, just as they drive past Forefront Field here in Avon, as the Wildcats lead at 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the sixth inning. It'll be 4-5-6 for St. Ed's as you look at that throw by Laux and a sweeping tag there to get the runner at second base to end the inning. Florjancic comes up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day. 2 groundouts. Lifts this one right center field. That'll be tracked by Jackson Anthony for the easy out. Will Addington will come up to the plate as Ben Olak in for his second inning of work. Addington on the day walked and was stranded at third in the fourth, grounded out back in the first, or in the second inning. 3-0 Wildcats in there for a strike on the inside part of the plate, right at the knees. Addington came into this game with a .333 average. Eagles came into this game with a 7-game win streak. That is in jeopardy right now. The Wildcats coming into this matchup with a 10-game winning streak over the Eagles. Olak, as he gets Addington the swing, and Addington is down in the count 1-2 as the Wildcats have a number of pitchers up throwing in their bullpen getting loose. Ground ball pounded over to first base. Merhab will make the easy play for the second out of the inning. Designated hitter Cam Fuhrer will come up to the plate for St. Ed's. Eagles had a number of opportunities back in the fourth and fifth inning, and so far Olak has been able to strike them down quickly 1-2. And a big high fastball on a cut there by Fuhrer. Another big high fastball as Olak goes in and is attacking the upper part of the plate on Cam Fuhrer, who's down 0-2 on the count with 2 outs. This one lined to the right fielder, Ryan Whalen, for the third out of the inning, and the Eagles go down in order. 3 up, 3 down. They're still down 3-0 as we head towards the top of the seventh on Rock Sports. New pitcher for St. Ed's. It'll be Grant Lashutka coming in. He has a 1-0 record with a 4.67 ERA for St. Ed's in 9 innings. So the Eagles go to their third pitcher of the ball game. So they'll move Luca Reyes over to short. And over at third base will be Ryan Shepard. And they put Florjancic in over at second. So the Eagles making some defensive moves as they bring Lashutka in from the shortstop position. Move Shepard over to third, Reyes to short, and Florjancic goes from the pitcher's mound over to second base. So the Eagles just moving everybody around like they were playing musical chairs. The only player that stayed in his own position was the first baseman, Langston Lucas. So Lashutka, the third pitcher of the ball game here in the top half of the seventh inning, as the Wildcats leading it 3-0. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for St. Ignatius. No runs, 6 hits, 1 error for St. Ed's. Top of the seventh, first pitch from Lashutka. Bouncer picked up by Lashutka. He'll fire it over to first base for the first out of the inning on Hirsch. That'll bring up Matt McKee as we take a look at it. On that first pitch, good eye and then a good throw there by Lashutka, who also doubles up as the shortstop for Coach Jim Clark. That'll bring up Matt McKee to the plate. Or make that Trey Powers comes in. Number 3. Trey Powers, left-handed hitting. Coming in for Matt McKee here in the seventh. Fouls this one straight away and behind us here at Forefront Field. Trey Powers, a junior. St. Ignatius with 17 seniors, 9 juniors, and a sophomore on the team. That pitch missing up high. Count goes to 1-2. Trey Powers hitting .444 on the year in 5 games. Lashutka getting in the sign from Laux. Out of the windup. Fouls another one straight out of Forefront Field. Powers with 3 singles on the year has scored 4 runs. He struck out 3 times and walked twice. And he strikes out for the 3rd time this season. Backward K in the book as Powers goes down looking. And that'll bring in the top of the lineup for the Wildcats, Ryan Whalen. Whalen has gotten on base 3 times today. He singled back in the 5th, walked in the 3rd, and was hit by a pitch to open the game. That one in there for a strike by Lashutka. Lashutka heading to Wright State. Fouls that one back into the net. Lashutka, a preseason All-Ohio, according to PBR Ohio. Cam Fura also named to that preseason team along with Laux, Lucas, and Reyes, and Robbie Anderson. 0-2 count on Whalen. This one hit down the third base side, tailing foul. Count remains at 0-2. Lashutka trying to make quick work. For the Eagles, they will go 7-8-9 when they come up in their last attempt to hit here in the bottom of the 7th. Right now in the top of the 7th, Wildcats lead it 3-0. And the strikeout, as it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Wildcats. Eagles will try to make things happen as we head to the bottom of the 7th, down 3-0 on Rock Sports.
When your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your first patient. Until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else. All to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
At Joyce Buick GMC, serving the community for nearly 60 years means offering the best service and deals in town.
Check out our great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles.
We are receiving truckloads of new vehicles and fresh trade-ins daily.
Visit us today for our lowest prices and great selection.
And that's why people say, drive Joyce. Your friends and neighbors do.
Joyce Buick GMC. Visit us on Chester Road in Avon or online at drivejoyce.com.
Eagles are down to their final 3 outs, down 3-0 here in the bottom of the 7th on Rock Sports. It will be 7-8-9 for St. Ed's. D'Angelo, Laux, and Faup for the Eagles as Ben Olak coming up for his 3rd inning of work on the mound for Coach Brad Gaynor and the Wildcats. Eagles had scoring opportunities in the 4th and 5th inning. They had bases loaded, not able to get a run across. Then in the 5th, they had a runner at second base with a base hit, but then a great throw by Jackson Anthony at home plate cut down the Eagle attempted run. So bottom of the 7th as Leo D'Angelo comes up to the plate. See the shadows starting to creep up the third base line here at Forefront Field. Just behind the batter. That one in there for a strike on D'Angelo. He's 2 of 2 with 2 singles in the ball game. D'Angelo would like to get on base again as that one is hit off the facing here at Forefront Field. D'Angelo coming in, 350 as everybody in that St. Edward dugout hoping to get that first run across. They had opportunities, but the Wildcats were able to shut them down. And a big backward K there as D'Angelo goes down looking on the strikeout with 1 out here, and that'll bring up Jack Laux. Laux has struck out twice. He struck out with the bases loaded back in the 4th inning. Seven combined strikeouts for Wildcat pitchers today. Big cut there by Laux. Count evens up at 1-1 as Olek doing a really good job in relief for the Wildcats. Another big cut as he challenges him with a fastball. Now Olek ahead of the count at 1-2. Olek out of the stretch, delivers. That one's fouled into the net here at Forefront Field. Count remains at 1-2. Wildcats looking to hold on and extend that winning streak to 11 games over the Eagles. That one, they're going to say he went, but he's going to go over to first base. So with the pass ball, Laux gets on base. The Eagles will have a pinch runner. That'll be Noah Lochner coming in the run for St. Ed's. A little more speed there with Lochner. So Lochner will be the pinch runner. Laux got on a error behind the plate. And so with one out, Loa Lochner is the pinch runner, the senior. The seniors on this team were freshmen when I coached for St. Ed's. We had a successful record, 16-7 that year.
Center fielder number 26, Logan Fout.
Logan Fout coming up to the plate. He singled and was caught at home, and he grounded out back in the third inning. 1 for 2 on the day for him. One out here in the bottom of the seventh. Noah Lochner, the pinch runner over at first base. Does have some speed. Gets back in time. On the throwback. Wildcat pitchers have been trying to keep the Eagles close at bay over on that first base side. On deck will be Luca Reyes. Big cut there for a strike. Count evens up at 1-1. Falp had that single back in the fifth inning and then was thrown out at home plate. Ground ball, third baseman. It'll be Peluso trying to get the double play. No, as Falp beats out the throw at first base. Just beating the throw. But the Eagles down to their final out with 2 outs. Luca Reyes now coming in to hit. He singled his last time, struck out back in the third and walked in the first. That went in there for a strike. St. Ed's down to their final strike and final out. Looking to continue that 7-game winning streak, but that is being threatened big time right now. Ground ball right up the middle, and that will be the ball game. So the Wildcats extend the winning streak to 11 games over St. Ed's. They now have a 2-game winning streak, and the Eagles' 7-game win streak comes to a screeching halt here at Forefront Field. As the Wildcats take this one 3-0, we'll take this time out on Rock Sports. Wildcats extend their winning streak over the Eagles at 11 games as they come up with a 3-0 win today here from Forefront Field. They had 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. The Eagles, no runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Florjancic will get credited with the loss, and Laparo will get credited with the win in today's game as the Wildcats now go to 3-6 on the year. The Eagles go to 7-2. And up next for St. Ed's on Saturday, it'll be Buckeye here at Forefront Field. For our crew of NEO Productions, our director, Christopher Mendoza, our camera people, all of them doing a great job today. I'm Adam Mendoza. Final score once again from Forefront Field. Wildcats win it 3-0. Thank you for joining us on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Have a great day, everybody.